Okay. I always feel like there's a little lag with it, so we'll have to give it a minute. Yeah, just a few seconds. And everyone, we are live. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We were having a smidge of technical difficulties. So for those of you that tried to see us on Instagram, we will redirect you to the recorded video on YouTube. But we are live on Facebook and we are live on our Pickle 4 platform and YouTube. So thank you so much. I'm excited to be back for another year with this fabulous team to celebrate our 10th anniversary for the US Open. In today's live session, we will review some updates for 2026. We have a brand new schedule. We're going to review the lottery process since we've got a load of questions about that. And Eva is going to cover our Seniors Pro that now has some new names and new explanations that she'll go through. Today, I'm joined by Ben Weinberger that many of you know from last year's engagements, and he is our US Open president and the tournament director. He's wearing a bunch of hats this year. And back for our second year as our US Open honorary chair is senior pro champion Eva Welsher, my friend, just a local superstar. We love her. And you will also catch Eva during our US Open doing our recaps every day and kicking off every day's US Open. So with further ado, I'm going to introduce Ben and hand the mic over to Ben.
Thank you, Nannette. Welcome, everybody. We are so excited to be here. We are coming off of an incredible record-breaking 2025 US Open Pickleball Championships that we're going to chat about shortly. But we are shaping up for 2026 to be our biggest, most fun, exciting year yet. And for those of you who aren't yet familiar or haven't heard it, it is our 10th anniversary. Just an incredible milestone for the sport, incredible milestone for the US Open Pickleball Championships, and everybody who has contributed and gotten us to this point. So we're going to go over what to expect, schedule changes, divisions, a variety of updates. But want to introduce Eva first before we go into things. Eva.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for 2026 and honored to be part of this live session as a player. And I will be playing in the US Open again this year, coming out of retirement. The US Open is unlike anything else. The atmosphere, the energy, the fans, the players, and this 10th anniversary is going to be on a whole different level. The new schedule and the structure of the Champions Pros and the Master Pros is something that I'm most excited about and is just a really smart update for the US Open. And I can't wait to dive into these new events and explain them to you.
Thank you so much. So before we go into all the new events, we do want to give you a little bit of highlights and things from 25 and a bit of 26 10th year anniversary data. We love data. So to give you a few thoughts and information by the numbers, for those of you who participated, you know the electrifying environment that we had and everything that was made so this year in 2025 so special. 55,000 visitors, over 3,400 players, all 50 states, 41 countries, over 5,000 matches. Just an incredible week of pickleball with a few new things that we did this year, including our junior championships, the Yola Junior Championships, which featured our first ever Triple Crown Junior, not one, but two. Indy Diagonal there on the right-hand side was one of the two. Ari Chandra was the other one. Just incredible rising stars in pickleball, and we can't wait and hope to see them back this year as well. Some of the atmosphere, as you guys know, is pretty incredible. You know, there's a reason this is the biggest pickleball party in the world, and so much fun, so exciting. It can't be a more fun week filled of competition, camaraderie, and pickleball. And the 10th anniversary should be carrying on that tradition. But some of you guys know, because you've been involved for all 10 years, what a special event this is. but we thought it would be interesting to, give you a few by the numbers. 10 years is pretty incredible. 27,000 matches, as an example, have been played over those 10 years. You can see the numbers here. There's some interesting things that, as we pulled the data, even surprised me a little bit. 11,000 games were decided by just 2 points. That just shows you an idea of, about a quarter of all of our games come down to the final 2 points. Really amazing. 250,000 fans have been to the US Open. We use an incredible amount of balls. It's a fun stat, we know, but 31,000 Franklin X40s have been used. If you place them end to end, it would stretch over 8 football fields. Just an amazing amount of pickleball, as you can imagine. There truly is only one US Open, and we are so proud to call Naples, Florida, our home, and the National Pickleball Center on a year-round basis, where you can come and experience this this environment and what culminates in the US Open every year. So, without further ado, we're going to talk a little bit about the schedule, and we've put this up on your screen so you can see it. It's also on our website, so you can go to usopenpickleball.com and click on the schedule. On that page, you'll see this exact graphic that you can open, but it also will show you the day-by-day breakdown with more detail of what happens on each day. So wanted to kind of talk through a little bit of the schedule changes and, what's new, what's different, and so forth. Mentioned that this past year we had the junior championships opening up the week of competition. We're going to do the same thing. That field was a incredible field this year, and we think it'll be even bigger next year during our 10th anniversary. So we want to highlight the juniors. We're going to continue to do that. We this year did not have pro qualifiers. We fit as many pros in as possible. If we decide to do pro qualifiers, we will do those on the opening Saturday. And most likely it would be men's singles and doubles. That's typically where we need the qualifiers. So we'll play that by ear, and we'll kind of determine what the schedule looks like once the lottery opens. The other thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to split singles. So typically we do all the singles on Sunday. We have women's and men's singles. It is a big day of singles. It's a little too big. So we're going to give the stage to our women on the opening Saturday and to the men on Sunday. So we're going to separate those off so everybody's got their own information, their own stage rather to play on. Then starting Sunday, we will be moving into the first of our official pro events. Women's split age pro and men's split age pro will be Sunday, followed by our mixed split age pro on Monday. A little different than this year in that there are no conflicting pro events. So you don't have to worry about stamina or conflicting timing and things like that. If you want to play women's split age or men's split age pro or mixed split age pro, you've got the entire pro schedule clear to do so. Those will stay as single elimination again for 2026. And then on the pro side, starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be playing singles, then doubles, then mixed. And the method is that we will be playing to semifinals each day. So all the matches will be played and we'll stop at semis. For example, on Tuesday with singles, same thing on Wednesday with doubles, same thing with mixed on Thursday. And then all the semifinals will be played Friday. So semifinal Friday, it was really exciting this year, back to back single semifinals, followed then by championships and all the medal matches on Saturday, championship Saturday. So we think this will work better based upon feedback from pros. We're excited to implement this. And moving into our other divisions, mostly the same on the amateur side. Again, we're going to make a few adjustments in men's, like we did with the singles, and you see those on the schedule. Men's doubles, the 3.0 will be played on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. The rest of them will all be played Wednesday. Again, just creates a better balance, better play, better pace of play. The wheelchair division this year was the biggest ever. It didn't just grow, it exponentially grew in 2025. We don't want to slow that down. We think it's incredible. We kept the same schedule as we did this year for 25 as now that we're going to do in 26. So we think that schedule change we made this year worked really well, and want to grow the wheelchair athlete competition even more. And then the big change in terms of event type is for our senior pro, and what we're going to be doing between our senior pro modification into Champions Pro and Masters Pro. So what the heck is Champions Pro and Masters Pro? Eva, as a senior pro champion, who better to explain than you?
Hello, thank you so much. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to the US Open for listening to its players. I love the fact that there's an open door and that people are able to express themselves and that things are actually heard and considered. I realize not everything can be implemented, but I'm super excited about this change. So in previous years, we've only had senior pro, and senior pro was 50 plus, no matter what age. You can decide if you wanted to play it, and obviously if you got in, you could play. And then we also had the 60 plus 5.0 events, okay? All featuring gender, singles, doubles, and mixed events. So this year, what we're doing is we're dividing the seniors into the 50 plus, which will be Champions Pro, and then the 60 plus, which would be the Masters Pro. I mean, obviously, if you're 62 and you want to play the Champions Pro, you can definitely still, put your entry in. But we are dividing those events. And the champions, well, let me just tell you what the differences are first, okay? So a lot of the 60-year-olds played the 5-0 events so that they could compete with their own age group. So we wanted to celebrate all the ages and talent levels appropriately and put them in their own lanes. Okay, so that everyone could have the proper stage to display their talents. The Masters Pros will be 60 plus and will receive prize money, which is a huge yay for the 60 plus year olds. The 50 60 plus who aren't ready to make the jump to the Masters Pro division, still that event will still be going on. So you have a choice now for Champions Pro 50 plus or Masters Pro 60 plus, or you can still play in the 50 divisions. But everybody will be celebrated, and there's a stage for everybody, which I'm very, very excited for. So thank you again for the US Open for listening and dividing these divisions. We can't wait to watch everybody play.
Awesome. That'll be great. We are going to move on to probably the number one question that gets asked about, the lottery. For many of you that follow the US Open, we have had some events that gave bypass to the lottery. So congrats to all those winners. We had a YMCA tournament, we had a Hall of Fame tournament, and we have another one coming up in January. So we had a handful of gold winners already in, but the masses of people are going to be entering that lottery. And that lottery takes place January 14th. Super important date to mark on your calendars. The lottery, as you know, runs through January 14th through 20th. I am going to let Ben talk more about the lottery, but this is probably, of all the questions we get, is all about that lottery. So Ben, can you address some of the most popular questions that come in about the lottery, please?
Yes, absolutely. We are incredibly fortunate to have such a incredible pickleball community nationwide and globally that put their eyes on the US Open. And we do believe it is, the premier global event for so many different nations to be represented, over 40 countries this year at the 2025 US Open. And we had over 6,000 people enter the lottery in 2025. So as Nannette said, it is the key way to get in. And we want to take you through some of the questions that typically come up and that we can help answer. So first one that almost always is top of mind is, do you need a partner? So yes, if you're entering a doubles event, men's doubles, women's doubles, mixed doubles, you must have a partner at the time you register. So you both have to complete registration. For example, if I want to register and invite Nannette to be my partner, I need to invite Nannette, or she needs to register and invite me. And then the other person needs to go through Pickleball Den and use the registration process during the lottery. And then you'll see in your Pickleball Den account, it'll say Ben Weinberger and Nannette Staropoli are linked as mixed doubles partners. And if Eva says, well, I want to partner with Ben, which I know I would never be good enough to play with Eva. I'm not good enough to play with Nannette either, by the way. But she can invite me, but it will say I'm already partners with Nannette. So it will track everything correctly inside of Pickleball Den. Both people need to complete their registration and need to either accept the other person's invite or invite the other person. Whoever is doing it first will do the other one then second. In that process, the question may come up, well, what about Pickleball Den? What is Pickleball Den? For those of you that were in the 2025 US Open, you'll recall that was the official software that we used to run the tournament. Incredibly efficient, worked quite well. And we were back again utilizing Pickleball Den. You can create your free Pickleball Den account. It doesn't cost anything to have an account. You can go ahead and do that now if you want to, pickleballden.com. It will take you through the registration process to just create your account. And then when the lottery opens, you'll see the link available to you. So you can have your account prepped, ready to go. You can connect your duper, which we'll get to in a second, and make sure that you are familiarized. But yes, that is the long answer to you need to have a partner. So if in the example I gave, if Nannette invites me and I decide that I'm a delinquent and don't complete my registration, I'm not in the lottery. Only Nannette is. And unfortunately, Nannette's without a partner. So I've left her stranded, and she's probably not going to get selected because of that.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to interrupt because that also is one of the questions that just came in from Amanda. How do I find a partner if I don't have a partner? We have a group page on Facebook. That is the most efficient place for you to post and look for partners. Of course, there's a myriad of Facebook groups out there where you can also try to find partners, but we're giving you ample time to try to go and secure your partner, practice with your partner, connect. There have been many a blind dates that have won the US Open, so don't be afraid of a blind date. And that was a great question, Amanda. So thank you for that.
Excellent. So related, can you enter more than one event? Of course, you can enter as many events as you're eligible to play. So each event is its own lottery. So for example, if I enter men's doubles, mixed doubles, men's singles, those are all different entries for me. And I may get selected for one or more than one. For those of you that are familiar with US Open, or if you go and take a look at our event and event schedule listing, you'll see it is more than simply men's doubles as an example. I might enter the men's doubles age event, age only, which is only for those 4-0 and above, very competitive, high level play. So I would enter the age only event potentially, but I could also enter the men's doubles skill plus age. So I could enter the men's doubles 4.0 and I guess I can say my age, 45 to 49 age division. You can always play up in skill and down in age, but not the inverse. Up in skill, down in age, but not the inverse. So yeah, you can enter as many events in the lottery as you want to. The lottery won't let you enter events that are conflicting with each other. The lottery will keep you out of trouble the way the software works. It is continually fine-tuned. And for example, if you enter a pro event, you can't enter an amateur event and vice versa. You can enter a split age pro event and the age only events. That was a new thing that we allowed in 2025, and we're going to continue allowing that in 2026. So you can play the age only, that very high level 4.0 plus level event with a split age pro event. All good.
One more question that just came in. A question about duper. So as part of criteria, you're explaining it, you definitely need a partner, secure that before. And I'm going to just put up on our screen the duper. There you go. Got duper. So the question from Ellen from Naples was, talk to me about the duper. Do I need my duper?
Yes, you need your duper. So we have duper as our official rating system that we started using in 2025. I personally believe it worked quite well. Nothing's foolproof, and we know that. And the duper folks are fantastic to work with. They're available to help you. We'll show some email addresses later, but they have a US Open hotline, usopen@myduper.com, that you can email with questions about your duper. They were excellent this year. If people have realized they may have had multiple duper accounts and needed to merge them, or something erroneous that they wanted to ask duper about, duper was really great about that. In terms of, I don't have a duper, how do I get a duper? You can simply sign up and you get a duper that is not rated. As soon as you start playing anything that uses duper, you will get rated. Duper also has a coach review product that you can get a My Duper coach to review you and give you a duper. So you get a provisional duper to kind of get you started. So there's a lot of ways, very easy to create a free duper account, very easy to clean up your duper if you realize you've got more than one for any reason, and very easy to connect it inside of Pickleball Den during that registration or sign up process. It does it all seamlessly, and we pull it in. How do we use duper then? So the use of duper on our end, and we have a fantastic tournament operations team leading the charge behind the scenes that many of you interact with throughout the process. And we couldn't create the fair play that we really strive to without that. We use a variety of algorithms, our favorite AI engines, and we look at everybody's duper. And we try very, very hard to make sure that people are not sandbagging or playing at a lower duper than what they're supposed to be in. The lottery will not accept you. I can tell you that right now. You will not get chosen in the lottery if you enter in a skill rated event that is lower than what your duper is. So for example, all of this is on our website, by the way. If you scan this QR code on your screen, it will take you to the duper FAQ page and show you examples of this. If you're a 3.872 duper, that means you could play in anything 3.5 or above. So you could play in 4.0 if you wanted to, but you can't play in 3.0. So 3.872, you have to be 3.5 or above. You can't be in 3.0. If you do enter 3.0, the lottery will not accept you. So you can try to enter, but you won't get in. We look at that after the fact. We continually scrub that. And it's important to note your duper is locked in our system as of the end of the lottery. So when the lottery closes on January 20th, we record everyone's duper. And so some of you know who, if you're listening, you may have inquired last year in March and said, hey, I see Ben's duper is 4.09 or 4.12, and how's he allowed to play 3.5? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One might be that when I entered the lottery, maybe I was a 3.98. So I was right on the border, and I decided to play 3.5. That's my decision. I'm allowed to do that. I can play 3.5. And then I got better. I won some stuff. And so now I'm a 4.09 or 4.1. We're not going to make you play 4.0. We may ask you to play 4.0, but it is your decision. You followed the rules and you played in the correct thing. The second reason your duper may be seemingly too high is that there is a reliability score with duper. And when you have very little information in your duper account, you may have a reliability of 5 or 10 or 20. Duper states that once you hit 60, your duper is considered reliable. So a reliability of 60 or above, it's considered, solid. We should use that. So we use our judgment as tournament staff and operations. We may see something that we do flag, but for the folks who inquire, we get it. We want fair competition. We try extremely hard to make sure that is the way that it ends up being. Another question that we get commonly is, as you go through the lottery, are doubles selected as individuals or team? It's a team. So if Eva and Nannette are playing together, then
Woohoo.
lucky both of you.
Lucky me.
You get in as a team. So there won't be a situation where Eva gets selected and Nannette doesn't. It's one or nothing. And again, that's why it's incredibly important that you name your partner during the lottery and that partner completes their registration. Otherwise, the system will say, it looks like Eva's playing by herself. Even though she may have said Nannette's my partner, Nannette may not have completed the registration. So again, important to complete that, but then you do get in as a team. You don't have to worry about it. If one of you gets invited, both of you will get invited. Let's see, what else?
Can I address one? So just so everybody knows who's on live, and we so appreciate you taking the time to watch us live. We are getting a ton of DM questions. One thing I will speak to this team, this is probably the most responsive group I've ever worked with. Ben of all of us is just incredible at answering everybody back. We will collect all the questions. We will answer even offline here because we won't have enough time today to do that. I'll just ask one that came in from Bob, and he asked, are there any singles qualifying tournaments for the US Open? That came from Bob.
We do not have singles qualifiers for the US Open. And singles is an interesting division and set of brackets. The reason why, different by comparison to doubles or mixed doubles, the reason why is we dedicate so much of now 2 days, a singles on Sunday and a singles Saturday rather, and on Sunday, women's on Saturday, men's on Sunday, so that we can grow those divisions. We dedicate a lot of tournament time to singles on the front end. And in the past, as you guys may recall, the divisions are limited to 8. So it is strictly 8. Part of that is the intensity of singles. Part of that is we want to get as many different divisions in as possible. Well, with the expansion of moving those to Saturday and Sunday, we can actually expand those. And we don't have to stop at 8. Some divisions are pretty small, and you know it actually might be a struggle to fill 8. Some divisions, I can think of one in particular, we had 99 people apply this past year for one men's division. And when you take 8, that doesn't feel so great. It's barely 10%, is getting in. So if we could expand that to a 16-team bracket, for example, now we're getting to, kind of closer to averages of what we can get into the lottery. We can get twice as many people in. Obviously, there's still a lot of folks that might be disappointed and not get into that singles event. But we are able to take a lot of singles players because of the way we do it, and now because we're going to expand the bracket.
Perfect. I think you should walk through maybe some of the key dates that are coming up, because that's always a lot of questions. And I'm getting one more question. Let me glance. Oh, when will we get an email? Is if we get flagged.
So if you get into the lottery is I think what that means, do you get an email? So the way, and that's a good transition. Yeah, so let's go to that transition. So the athlete lottery and the key dates. The athlete lottery starts the 14th of January, as we mentioned. So it goes for 1 week, opens up the morning of the 14th and closes midnight on the 20th. It does not matter if you're the very first person to enter the lottery or the very last person at 11:59:59 on the 20th. You stand the same odds of getting in. I may call you if you're the first person. The person who was first this year knows I called them and said, congratulations, you're the first person in the lottery. You win the badge of honor. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean you're getting in. But if I recall, I think the person did get in. But you can enter at any point during that process. You can also come back during the process and add more events. If you change your mind, want to be in something you didn't think you wanted to be in. If you need to change your partner, if you said, hey, I want to put my name in for men's doubles, but I don't yet have my partner figured out, you can then go back into Pickleball Den and add your partner later. If you added a partner who says, hey, Ben, I don't really want to play with you, and they decline your invite, you can change your partner in Pickleball Den now, and you can swap that. So a lot of things, that you can do during that process. After the 20th, we then take a week to review all the data. A lot of what happens during that time frame, by the way, is verification of data. So we're looking at dupers. We're making sure that we have kind of a clean set of information to work from. And then we run the lottery. So the lottery is what it sounds like. It's a randomization, but only of those people who are qualified to enter. So you have your partner, you're qualified. You're the correct duper, you're qualified. You then go to the top of the list and we randomize those. If you don't have your partner, you're in the wrong division, duper wise, you go to the bottom of the list, and we don't even put you into the actual randomization process. Then on the 28th, you get the notification. The notification will come via email. You'll also see this in your Pickleball Den account. So you'll see if it's waiting for you to register. But the email is the best place that you will need to be checking. As in past years, we always recommend, no matter what email system you're on, Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, Yahoo, whatever it might be, personal domain, add our email address, which we'll show you here. I'll actually put this up right now. Registration at usopenpickleball.com is a very important email that you should add to your address book. This will help your provider know that you want to get email from us, and it will make sure you don't go to spam. But add that email address, registration at usopenpickleball.com, to your address book. Then emails start going out. People start registering or finalizing their registration. You don't have to pay anything during the lottery. And when you get that email, that's when you pay. During that process, you'll have the option of adding on weather insurance. We have a limited edition 10th anniversary athlete hat that is only available to athletes who get in, and only available ahead of time. You cannot buy it on site. So you'll have the option of purchasing that during the lottery. You'll also have the option, for the first time this year, we're going to offer a weekly parking pass. So you can take care of that ahead of time. You don't need to show up in person with money or buy in person. You still can. You can buy a daily pass, when you show up. But we're going to try to simplify that. We're going to go cashless as well. You'll get some information about that, but much easier. A lot of new things there we're going to simplify. But right after the athlete registration is our Zing Zang Championship Court Ticket Lottery, February 1st through 5th. This is where you put your name in if you want a ticket to Zing Zang Championship Court. It sells out every year, generally within about a half hour of the lottery ending. We send out the invites right as the lottery ends, and within about a half hour, everything's purchased. It sometimes takes a few days as people, don't quite respond, but that will be fully sold out, I'm confident. So if you want to see matches on Zing Zang Championship Court, from the pros to the best competition in the amateur and junior divisions, please make sure to put your name in the Championship Court Ticket Lottery. Then I saw you were about to ask something. Did you want to add?
I just had a question prior to us talking about the championship court. Somebody had asked, does the combined duper help or hurt selection? That came from Frank. Thank you, Frank.
Great question, actually. Glad you asked it, Frank. So it does not affect anything, with one exception. So, and I'll give the example. If I'm and we'll just use kind of round numbers. If I'm a 3.0 and my partner's a 3.5, and let's say we're going to enter the 3.5 then, because I have to play up to 3.5. So we're combined a 6.5, or if you averaged it, we're 3.25 each. Doesn't matter. As long as you've entered into the correct division, the 3.5 division in that case, we still stand the same chance as someone, let's say two people who have 3.9s and they're 7.8 combined. Sure, that's going to be a tougher team for us to beat. But we really believe at the US Open that as long as you are playing in the right age and skill, you should have the same odds of getting in. There's one exception to that. The exception is in our age-only events, where we say you need to be 4.0 and above. This year, we saw, probably for the first time, a jump in skill level. And even though we said 4-0 and above, there were divisions where we barely had anybody enter who was less than 4-5. So some of those highly competitive divisions get, really exciting competition. So we do stack rank those, the highest combined duper to the lowest combined duper. And then when we randomize it, we take a look, and what we're trying to do is not exclude anybody. But what we do say is, look, it's not going to be fun or fair for someone who comes in there who's let's say, right at 4-0. If you have two people who are 4-0, or even maybe somebody who's 4-3 and somebody else who's 3-7. And they said, look, we want to try our hand at this. Are we going to get in? We have a 7-7 combined. We're now up against people who maybe are close to 10 combined, or even above. They're 5-4, 5-5. They're 10.4 combined. We may not put you into the same lottery, not because we don't want you to play, but we want you to have a great experience. And we don't want you to walk away and say, well, that was a waste of time and money. We just got beat 11-0, 11-1, and, consolation match 11-0, 11-0. So not all divisions are like that. We still encourage you to get in, but I think that's a great question. So it is not factored in, anywhere except the age-only divisions. And the only reason we factored in there is to try to create fair competitive play.
Mm-hmm. One or two more questions from our crowd. So Jacob, who is watching us from the UK, thank you for watching us from the UK. He will not have a partner. Does that mean he has less of a chance of getting in? And I know we spoke to this, so we highly encourage you to join our Facebook group and reach out for a partner. It's the US Open Pickleball Championships connection page. Let them know your level, let them know anything, it's kind of your place to market yourself. And I, who live in Naples, 1 mile from these beautiful courts, can speak to this beautiful town. Many of your new potential blind bait partners may even have room to house you. So this is a super welcoming pickleball community. And I am hoping that you find a partner.
Couldn't say it better myself. I wouldn't try, but totally agree with that. And I put up here on the screen the QR code to the Facebook connections page. Some of you may have gotten into this live stream from that page, from our main US Open page. But that is a great place to find a partner. And, and to kind of reiterate what Nannette said, yes, depending on the division, it would be difficult to get into the lottery without a partner. There are some divisions where there are less entrants into the lottery, and we might pick you, and then you do have time to go find your partner. But we highly, highly encourage you to put your name in the lottery. You can take that week, even if you don't have your partner yet, you can take that week to find somebody who could be your partner. And if you get selected, we would love to have you. The UK has been well represented in the past, and I know we've got some exciting pros coming from the UK this year that I was actually talking to yesterday, and so we're looking forward to that. So just kind of quickly wrapping up the dates. 3 other key dates here. Athlete refund deadline, March 1st. So this is the point when you can withdraw for any reason or no reason and no penalty other than a $25 processing fee. After that, you need to have the insurance and have a covered reason to withdraw with a refund. We then 2 weeks later post the full list of everybody in every division. So on March 15th, you'll see, for example, who's in my women's 3-5 50 to 54 division. And you'll see all the players in all the divisions listed on March 15th. And then April 1st, 2 weeks after that, that's when you can substitute anyone as your partner. So if my partner got sick and has to withdraw, got hurt, work situation came up, can't make it, I can contact the registration team who will gleefully help you and help you swap out that partner for anyone. After April 1st, we are now 10 days away from the US Open starting. It is extremely difficult for us to bring in someone who is not already in the US Open. And so we ask that if you need to substitute a partner, you find somebody who is already in the US Open and available to be your partner. For example, if I lost my men's doubles partner, there may be someone who's playing mixed doubles and they're not in men's doubles and they would love to play men's doubles. So they could join me as my men's doubles partner. and add an event that they aren't already in. So these are the key dates. These are all on our website. If you go on to the registration link on our website, you'll see all of these dates as well, and a bunch of other information throughout there.
And Ben, we have had, and Eva, we have had a ton of questions, which I love. That means you guys are listening and watching and being engaged, but we are definitely going to take the time to answer them. So my marketing crew will type them all up between Ben, Eva, and I will get them all answered. We'll publicly post them since they probably are frequently asked questions. One, I'm going to have Ben answer because it is a hot topic. That championship court is definitely an experience like no other. Those that are lucky enough to get into lottery, congrats, because that's definitely fabulous. As many of you were aware, last year we had skyboxes for the first time. We had an enhanced championship court that was simply beautiful. It's even better this year because as we do, we keep improving things around here based on all your feedback. And the question came from Devin, and they said, can you talk about the VIP experience package process, which Ben has an extremely organized and trackable process as how that goes down and clear expectations so nobody's disappointed.
Sure, absolutely. And we have up here the championship court ticket lottery dates and QR code, just so you can get that information as well. And so the question relates to our VIP experience on championship court. If you've been in there, you'll notice there are boxes that are down at court level, and some of those elevated. Those are our gold boxes. Just an incredible group of supporters who've been with the US Open, some of them since day one, 10 years, coming back and being a gold box holder. We also have our VIP group that is on the one end of the court, that they get special seating and access. And again, a lot of those folks, 10 years, have been coming to the US Open and being part of our VIP program. The ticket is a very hard one to get. We're very fortunate and blessed to have that situation. The VIP process is done by a wait list. So if you submit your information, you can fill out a form on our website for that. You can also email info@usopenpickleball.com or the registration team, registration@usopenpickleball.com. All of those will make sure that your name gets added to the wait list for VIP. It is a great way to experience the US Open with food and beverage included. The skyboxes that Nannette mentioned were added this year. A very cool addition where you can bring a group of 15 or 20 people. If you're a business and you want to entertain clients, employees, partners, friends, family, pickleball enthusiasts, you can rent a skybox for the day and also get food and beverage as part of that. So there's a couple different ways that you can get onto Zing Zang Championship Court and watch all the action, see the pros. And as many people know, one of the things that makes the US Open so special is among the, we think, hundreds or thousands of things that make US Open so special, is that the pros are very accessible. So, you know, you may literally bump into and brush into pros all throughout the day on courts all over the National Pickleball Center. And the pros are very friendly. You know, they will often, you know, if they're not in the middle of a match, you know, or a tournament, you know, be happy to talk, be happy to, you know, sign something, be happy to, you know, answer a question. Very accessible. So even though Zing Zang Championship Court is a ticketed entrance, that's not the only place you can see them. They will play throughout the venue every day, as we talked about with the schedule. And we're actually adding and expanding a grandstand area this year. Some of you who have been there in past years know that we did a kind of a first version of that in 2025. Well, for our 10th anniversary, we're going to expand that, and there'll be another court that's available and open to anyone that you'll be able to sit and watch in a you know, similar sort of highlighted area. So we're excited about that as well, and more information will be coming.
Yes, and that wait list is several years long, correct, Ben?
TBD. Yeah, we don't. You know,
Okay.
we see. We're very fortunate, like I said, to have the support and level of interaction that we have there. And unfortunately, I know that some people have been on that for a long time, and we know that renewals are our first primary focus, and so we're very fortunate for that. But is there anything else, Eva, that I'm forgetting, or anything that you're thinking of?
No, I mean, my biggest piece of advice to everybody is just set your reminders on your phones, the dates that are pertinent to you, to make sure that you have every opportunity to get into the lottery, to, purchase Sing Zang course, whatever it is that you're looking for in the US Open. I think that you might want to just touch on the spectator expectation for those that are coming in locally or from out of state to watch. What would the expectation be for the spectator?
Sure. It's pretty incredible in our humble opinion and biased opinion. Like I mentioned before, the access to watch not only pros but everything is effectively free. So other than paying to park, which we always recommend carpooling and whatnot because it does fill up every day, is fully accessible. So we have 59 courts of action that you can watch, from the juniors and the opening junior championships to the amateur events going on every day, to the wheelchair events, the pros, the master pros, the champions pro. All of that, 59 courts, is fully available. I'd like to say sun up to sundown because that is when we're there. And the vendors, the vendor village that will be set up and is expanding this year, the food that's available through our variety of food partners, which expanded this year as well. It is accessible and open to anybody and everybody. And 55 plus thousand people don't lie. It's a pretty fun experience. I was on the phone yesterday with somebody and they said, Ben, it was almost too many people. I couldn't believe how many people were this year. It was just incredible. And it is a very fun, biggest pickleball party in the world. So we couldn't be more excited. But one of the things that we would be remiss in not calling out is our volunteers. That is how this all happens. We think it is all of you athletes that are listening, we love you and we appreciate you, but none of this would happen without the volunteers, and they are the heart and soul of the US Open. Many of you have volunteered for 10 years and couldn't be more thrilled to have you back. We have a group of captains that manages those and a team that makes that all happen, but it is hundreds of volunteers. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you join us. There's a lot of different teams. Lisa McKenzie behind the scenes coordinates our captains and all the different teams. And if you submit your inquiry, she will route that and make sure that we get you paired up and figure out if you're a fit for all the different teams that are available. But the volunteers are the heart and soul of this, and we couldn't be more proud of what the volunteers do. That also includes our parking, as an example. We said we're going to be evolving that, but we partner with local organizations like the Kiwanis that help us with our parking. And as a result, we make this year we made over a $50,000 donation to their Christmas in July from proceeds that are collected from parking. So we're excited to do that again and couldn't be more thrilled to support the community in those efforts. Anything else, Nannette, that you wanted to try to answer now versus anything we add later?
I think that was a great overview. Of course, I encourage you all, follow us on our Facebook, our Instagram, TikTok. When you get in the lottery, feel free. We're going to be sharing a visual. This is our 10th year anniversary, so we're so excited to celebrate that. We'll provide information on how you can share your enthusiasm so that we can then share it with our Facebook audiences as well. Any questions about marketing, you guys can always reach out to us. We love sharing all of our stories, from the young to the old to everything. So our job is to be the storytellers of the US Open that we're so proud to do. And we love finding stories. So if you have something unique you want to share, please feel free to reach out.
Couldn't agree more. We are excited, to say the least. 10th anniversary of the US Open Pickleball Championships. It's an incredible milestone, an incredible feat and testament to what we believe is just a great opportunity for players, community, fans, spectators to come together and celebrate pickleball and celebrate the competition and love of the sport. April 11th to 18th, 2026, beautiful Naples, Florida. The community, if you're in that area, is already geared up and excited. And if you go to the National Pickleball Center, you'll see thousands of players, some of which I'm sure are practicing and getting ready. Eva, any other thoughts?
No, I just want to say that, this 10th anniversary of the US Open is going to be absolutely unforgettable. I cannot wait to meet so many of you. I'll be on the grounds constantly. I'll be playing. So feel free to say hi. I know it's going to be an amazing experience for everybody, and I can't wait to see you in April.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Eva. Thank you, Nannette. Thank you to all of those behind the scenes that are already geared up in action, making this happen. So many of the familiar faces, which are generally all back for 2026, all coming together to make the 10th anniversary so special for all of you. And we're excited. More information will be coming. We'll do some more of the Facebook live announcements and Q&A as we go through the process. But don't hesitate, as Nannette said, to send in the information, and we will answer everything. And we didn't mention this earlier, but if you go on usopenpickleball.com, you'll see in the lower right corner a pop-up will appear prompting you with if you have any questions. And we've implemented a system that we have trained, good old AI on our side, and it is chock full of information. So you can get a lot of information there, asking it questions. But by all means, don't hesitate to email info@usopenpickleball.com, registration at usopenpickleball.com. And we will be happy to answer. And we've got the Duper line standing by as well. They will be happy to answer. But couldn't thank you guys enough. Can't be more excited, and look forward to 2026.
Yeah, excited. Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Eva.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.